Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and I just realized on my YouTube that I never reviewed Glee this week, and I'm really sorry about that. I was trying to watch all those movies. I would have reviewed it yesterday, but I was trying to watch all those movies, and then I was going to review it Friday, but I was trying to watch those movies, so now I'm going to review Glee. So this is Glee Season 4, Episode 15, Girls and Boys on Film. This episode was nowhere near as good as I do, but I felt like it was really good. It was there were some things though that were kind of boring, but I feel like they're making the, some of the things that were boring not as boring, and I'll get to that. But the basic plot of this episode was that it was all movie songs. That was basically the theme, and they're all singing movie songs, and I first want to get to the Will and Emma stuff. Basically, Will cannot stop thinking about Emma. He is watching old movies like Royal Wedding. I love the way they did that, by the way. They made it very old, and I really love the way they did it. It was black and white, and You're All the World to Me is still my favorite song in the episode. I absolutely loved it. I just loved how old it sounded and how good it was. I mean, they even had this stuff with turning the room upside down, and I love the part where Will wakes up and is like, the house is upside down. That was funny. But basically, he tells Finn he can't stop thinking about Emma, and Finn basically tries to tell Will, you gotta get back with her, and he tells him how it's like the scene in the movie where boy meets girl, and boy loses girl, and then, so he basically sings to her In Your Eyes, which I absolutely love. I've come to like it more than I did when I first listened to it. I really enjoyed it. And that's probably one of my favorite songs in the episode as well. I thought that was really great performance, and Emma basically says, though, how, she felt like he was not there for her, and how he felt like a different person, and they basically decide to start over, and they're going to go to a movie, and they're basically just going to start over completely. And then we have a big bombshell because Finn tells Will that he kissed Emma. Why did you have to tell him? I know he had to do that, but why did you have to tell him? It's not like Emma was going to tell him. Why did you tell him? I mean, I think it was a great thing that Finn told him, but he really didn't have to. And I thought Will took it a little too hard. I mean, all he did was, it was either kiss her or slap her. He couldn't slap her. He couldn't do that because I think it was just that, again, I said in the Diva episode, heat of the moment, he didn't know what else to do, and he kissed her. I mean, Will, seriously, just because he kissed her doesn't, and it wasn't even like an affectionate kiss. She didn't kiss him back. So, I mean, really, just stupid. And so then, that's how that story went. I want to get that done really quickly, because that was fine. And so then, basically, I liked, this is what I think they're making more interesting. Marley, Jake, and Ryder, they're making this storyline much more interesting. It does not feel like the same thing, because in Season 1, it was not like this. Rachel was not between two guys. She was between Finn and Jesse, but that was something completely different, in my opinion. Because this is different. I mean, Marley never dated Ryder. She's always dated Jake. Rachel had dated Finn and then dated Jesse, but that's something completely different. So I like how they're making this a little bit more interesting. Basically, Marley is very torn, and she asks Kitty, of all people, who, again, I think Kitty's trying to help Marley a little bit more and feels bad, because it seemed like Kitty felt a little bad, and she basically gives her the worst advice ever and basically tells her to be a slut. And she says, oh, no, you're not being a slut. You're just, you count as many, she said something like, there are going to be many guys, count as many as you want. Is she trying to make Marley a slut now? Is she trying to make Marley get her heart broken? I mean, I just don't get this. I mean, Kitty is one of my favorite characters, and I love Kitty so much because she tries to, whatever she does to Marley, Marley becomes. And I thought it was very funny in the Dynamic Duets episode where Marley was kind of like backfired, where Kitty trying to help Marley backfired. I thought that was really funny. But this was just, that's the wrong advice completely. So basically then, Jake is talking to Marley, and he sings Marley Unchained Melody, which now I get it, why they sang it. I still felt it was unnecessary, but I liked the scene. It was strange between Ryder and Jake. I'm going to tell you who I feel after, but she basically tells Jake that she kissed Ryder, and that Ryder kissed her, and she let him, and he's very upset, and they basically break up. I think they probably broke up. For me, I think Ryder and Marley would be a lot better. I like Jake, but Jake is not my favorite character in this show. I feel like Jake's kind of very one-dimensional. I mean, he had an interesting storyline in the first 2 episodes, and then they completely ignored it. I mean, they haven't even discussed his anger issues. With Ryder, though, Ryder seems like the better guy for Marley. He's really interested in her and all that stuff, and so that's what I think about that. I mean, I really think Marley should just be with Ryder and get it over with, but that's what I think of that. So that's basically all that happened in the world of McKinley. Now I want to get to the New York stuff. Okay, so as I said though, so for this New York stuff, I'm really enjoying what's going on here, but I have some things to say about this New York stuff at the end. First of all, I loved Santana. For me, she was the best character in this episode. She was absolutely hilarious. She did everything she could. She was happy. I mean, she was a great friend to Rachel, and I'll get to all that, but I just absolutely love Santana in this episode. She is becoming one of my favorite characters, definitely. She became one of my favorite characters last season. Like in season 3, I absolutely love Santana, and I love her even more this season. She's so great. So basically, Santana's getting a little too gossipy and kind of trying to is not minding her own business, and Rachel's saying how, okay, you're doing too much, we want you to move out. And Santana basically said, and they're basically all snowed in, and they're getting on each other's nerves, and Rachel tells Santana she needs to move out, but Santana basically tells Adam, who is over there, Adam just got on my nerves in this episode. She basically tells Adam that Kurt hooked up with Blaine, and Adam doesn't know what else to do about this, and she also had some stuff with Rachel. But basically, she is getting a little fed up with Adam and Kurt and Rachel all in there, and completely ignoring her.